Dak Prescott played every game his first 4 seasons, but he's missed 17 games the last 3 seasons. When discussing Dak yesterday, head coach Mike McCarthy told reporters, quote, "My goal is for Dak to play 20 games next year. If he plays 20 games next year, obviously, we'll be right where we want to be." Shannon, jump in here before Skip weighs in. Do you like or do you have a problem with what Mike McCarthy said?
Man, Mike McCarthy, Einstein. Skip, I wonder why he picked that number 20. Why didn't he pick like 15? He didn't pick 17, 18. Why is it 20? I wonder if I would have asked, how many head coaches you think I can ask, Skip? You say, man, I just hope my quarterback can play 20 games. I wonder why 20 is so significant. Mike McCarthy. So let me get this straight. Do they realize that when Dak missed those 5 games last year, Skip, they were 4-1? As a matter of fact, they didn't lose any ground. They were 4-1. So in other words, you're saying the reason why your season came up short was because Dak was injured.
Yep.
So what was going on? Those interceptions. He threw a league out 15 although he missed 5 games.
Yep.
That's the reason? Skip, do they realize that Dak had a career high in interceptions? If you include what he did in the playoffs, 17 interceptions. It wasn't because Dak missed games that you guys come up short. It was because Dak was inconsistent. Dak has been what Dak is his entire career. Inconsistent. And when the expectations, which the Dallas Cowboys had, I don't know why, considering they hadn't won anything in damn near 3 decades, but the expectations every year, Jerry, that snake oil salesman that he is, convinces, this is our year. I have a better, this team reminds me a lot of those Super Bowl teams in the 90s, Skip. And you know how good we were tonight. Stop it, Jerry. You and Steven do this every year. And where we go? Hey, I go to the barbershop. Hey, I bet you the Cowboys win more. What is winning more games? Y'all not going to no Super Bowl? Mike McCarthy actually believes that the reason why they have underachieved was because Dak Prescott has been injured. And not because of Dak Prescott's inconsistent play. That is the reason why you've underachieved, Mike. Not because of his injuries. You do realize that you went 4-1 last year when he was injured? The defense was playing outstanding. The defense played outstanding last year. Nobody said, you know what, the reason why they lost that game to San Francisco, man, that defense was bad. The defense only gave up 19 points. 19. You scored 12 with 2 turnovers. And you was driving to get more points when Dak had a turnover. Man, Mike, man, I'm scared. Do you realize Dak Prescott was sacked 20 times last season? That was 31st in the league. Dak was, think about this, Jalen Hurts was sacked 18 more times than Dak, yet he threw 9 less interceptions.
That's interesting.
The Niners only sacked Dak 1 time. Only sacked him 1 time.
Okay. Do I like or have a problem is the question about what this man just said yesterday. I can't tell you how big a problem I have with just about everything.
You got a problem with him talking.
That's him talking. Because every time he opens his mouth, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Seriously, laugh or cry. Because he's constantly trying to impress the media that he's way smarter than the media thinks he is, or the fans in turn think he is. Because nobody thinks he's smart. And yet he's always trying to come up with something so clever that everybody will say, hey, I didn't think of that. This is the same guy who showed up for a game this year back on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field wearing a Vince Lombardi mink coat, long mink all the way to the ground.
It was camel. It was a top coat, Skip. He was mink.
I think it was mink.
No, I don't think it was mink, Skip. It might have a mink collar.
I know a diehard Packer fan who's a longtime historian of the team, and he said it was Lombardi mink, like he went and got it, what? And that he was trying to show that I'm returning to where I triumphed and won a Super Bowl because I was the equivalent of Vince Lombardi. No, he rode the coattails of a quarterback who got hot on the road as a road wildcard team with little to no expectations back in what it was 12 years ago. And they went on the road. Aaron Rodgers, I give it up, but you barely outlasted Michael Vick at Philadelphia. Then you managed to blow out Atlanta, which was no big deal at that point. And then you were very lucky Jay Cutler wound up on the exercise bike at Chicago in the NFC Championship game. And yet you got outplayed in the second half by Caleb Haney and still managed to survive to a Super Bowl that you were the MVP of. I give you that.
Right.
But that's it. And that made Mike McCarthy a made man in Jerry Jones' eyes.
But even if you were to give him that, but think about what he had. His quarterbacks was Brett Favre, who won 3 MVPs, Aaron Rodgers, who won 4 MVPs, and he got 1 Super Bowl out of those guys when you had 15 years of prosperity at the quarterback position. Who had more concrete solidity, solidified that position more than Green Bay?
Nobody.
Bro, you got Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
How could it get any better? All the way through. You were there, what, 13 years?
Yes, and you got one Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. That's all you need to know. Interesting. Okay, so the irony of the statement is, how does it go again? He says, my goal is for Dak to play 20 games next year. I'm like, I don't really want him to play 20 games, right? No, seriously. Do you really want that? But no, he's smarter than everybody in the room. Smartest man in the room, because if you do the math, that would mean we have home field advantage to win 2 home playoff games to get to game 20, which is the Super Bowl. I've never heard any coach say this before, and yet he's trying to out-cute everybody, out-clever everybody. Look what I came up. He'd probably been working on that for a week, that little nugget, rehearsing in front of the mirror. And yet, here we go. As you well know, I got 2 big issues with my team. And ironically, this is my potential fatal flaw is my head coach talking about my other potential fatal flaw, who is my quarterback, and wants him to play 20 games. Tee-hee, ha-ha, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Oh, you're something, Mike. Well, you better be something, because what I do love, and I got to give Jerry Jones some credit here, or somebody upstairs, but Jerry rubber stamps and signs off on everything. They went and got Stephon Gilmore, and it pleasantly shocked me. They went and got Brandon Cooks, and it pleasantly shocked me. So you strengthened 2 weaknesses with a shutdown corner on one side opposite Trevon Diggs and a legitimate, proven, bona fide deep threat for the aforementioned Dak Prescott. Okay, so you re-signed people on defense. I thought you were going to lose. Wolf Hunter is back, and Donovan Wilson is back. And I'm looking
Dante
around. Dante Fowler is back, and he had your 4th most sacks. Everything's back in place where you could have a really good. Oh, Dan Quinn is back. I thought we'd lose him.
And guess what? Your head coach is back. Your quarterback is back.
Okay, so here's how I feel about this. Mike McCarthy, be careful what you wish for, because it's pretty clear to me he ran Kellen Moore right out of town all the way out here to L.A. to the Chargers. Mike McCarthy convinced Jerry Jones, look, I called plays for, I don't think it was all 13. I think it was maybe 10 years. The last 3 was it that he didn't? But let's say he called it for 10 years for very good quarterbacks. But he has been a play caller for a long time in this league. So he convinced Jerry, I think I should be doing this. Okay, you do it. No more Kellen Moore. You're on, Mike, as I call him. Please drop the Mike McCarthy. You better pick up the mic next year, because your seat is about to get much hotter, because I've said for 3 years, I don't even know what he does. He obviously can't motivate the team, because that's not his forte. As we saw in Hard Knocks, he got exposed. Game management doesn't appear as forte, because he doesn't know when to challenge or not challenge. Okay, he's looking up at the scoreboard like, where am I? I don't know where I am. He's like an innocent bystander on the sideline. Okay, you're on. You're going to get to call every play from, I assume, ground level. He's not going to go upstairs. No, okay. So here we go. What you got? Is the offense going to improve? It's hard to improve, because it's been a top 5 offense for 3 years. It's been a top 1 offense 2 years ago.
Even before then, Skip. I mean, since Kellen Moore has been calling the plays, they've been very good offensively. It's just that he said to do it. Because, and like you said, I don't believe that you left that game when we came here that Monday after they lost to the 49ers. You say the reason why we lost, Dak was hurt.
No.
I don't think you think that.
No.
I don't think any Cowboy fan think that.
No.
But he is trying to portray that the reason why we've had shortcomings over the years is because Dak broke his ankle, and then, he had the lat issue 2 years ago, and then this year, what did he do? His thumb.
Thumb on opening night.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you went 4-1 with the thumb.
Okay. And it's why I kept telling you, is Cooper Rush more talented than Dak Prescott? No. But he operated the position more consistently, efficiently than I have seen Dak operate the position. That's all I know. Cooper Rush is pretty good.
Yes.
He was good enough that the team had a huge win over Cincinnati, and then they backed it right up with a big win and a big win, and they came within 20-17 at Philadelphia on that Sunday night, and he goes 4-1, to your point. And Dak comes back, and he's a hit and a miss. And he had a huge playoff game that retired Tom Brady, and then he goes to San Francisco and stinks.
Yes.
And missed open receiver after receiver.
Yeah.
You want to talk about wildly inconsistent?
Do you remember the week before he played, Tom?
Yeah.
He stunk worse than he did in San Francisco.
It was the worst stinker of the year. It was. No, you got it. And late at Green Bay and late at Jacksonville, it's just like, okay, it's hard to live with.
Yeah.
I see the good, and unfortunately,
You see
the
the bad.
bad hits me right between the eyes when I least expect it.
Yep.